Ladies and gentlemen, imagine a moment, not in some distant future, but possibly in the next breath, when millions vanish in the blink of an eye. The world stops. Cars crash, planes fall, phones ring endlessly. Panic spreads like wildfire. No warning, no explanation, just silence and then chaos. That, my friend, is the moment that will change everything, the rapture. For centuries, people have dismissed it as a myth, a religious fairy tale, something for those kinds of people. But what if it's real? What if the warnings that have echoed from pulpits, pages, and prophecies were never just talk, but a loving warning? The rapture will not come with a press release. It won't announce itself on social media. It won't wait until you're ready. It will come like a thief in the night, quiet, sudden, undeniable. And when it does, millions will be left behind, staring into the sky, wondering what just happened. You see, the greatest deception of our time isn't some political lie or global conspiracy. It's the belief that there's plenty of time, that we can wait, that we can get right later. But the truth, later is a luxury not promised to anyone. So many live as if life will go on forever, chasing wealth, fame, influence, distraction. But they forget the one thing that matters. Are you ready? You can mock it, you can ignore it, but you cannot stop it. The rapture is not for the religious elite or the perfect. It's for the prepared. For those whose hearts are aligned, whose eyes are looking upward, not outward. It's not about rules. It's about relationship, a connection with the one who holds eternity in his hands. And here's the truth that shakes the ground beneath us. When it happens, you won't have time to get ready. You'll only have time to be ready. The question isn't if it will happen. The question is, will it surprise you or sweep you away? Now is the time to wake up, to stop playing the game of comfort and compromise, to stop postponing the decision that eternity hangs on. The rapture will shock the world, but it doesn't have to shock you. Choose now. Stand ready. Because when the trumpet sounds, there will be no second chances. And when it happens, and it will, may you not be the one wondering what happened, but the one rising in glory, ready, unshaken, and finally home. Imagine the most ordinary day. Sunlight pouring through the windows, children laughing in schoolyards, workers rushing to beat deadlines, life continuing as it always has. And then in a split second, everything changes. Without warning, millions vanish. No time to think, no time to react, just gone. That is how the rapture will unfold. Suddenly, instantly, and without any announcement. There will be no countdown, no signs in the sky saying, "Get ready." No final message on your phone. One moment the world will seem normal, and in the next, it will be thrown into unthinkable chaos. People will look around in disbelief as their loved ones, co-workers, and neighbors simply disappear. Planes will fall from the sky, cars will swerve out of control, and confusion will ripple across the globe. It will happen faster than a blink, faster than a heartbeat. It will be unstoppable and irreversible. This is what makes the rapture so terrifying to those who are not prepared. Its absolute suddenness. It will not respect convenience or timing. It won't wait for you to figure things out or make that last-minute decision. It won't care if you were almost ready or thinking about it. The trumpet will sound, and in that instant, the separation will be made. The prepared will be taken. The unprepared will be left. People have grown numb to the idea. We live in a world that is constantly predicting and analyzing. We watch weather radars, political forecasts, economic projections. We like to think we have control, that we can prepare for everything. But this will be different. The rapture will not follow human schedules. It won't show up on your feed. No one will post it on social media as it's happening. It will bypass all the systems we trust and shatter the illusion of control we cling to. The most chilling part, it will happen when people least expect it, when the world is caught up in its own rhythm, distracted by ambition, entertainment, politics, and personal pursuits. People will be busy planning their futures, celebrating milestones, arguing over things that don't matter, completely unaware that eternity is about to begin. The Bible compares it to the days of Noah. People eating, drinking, marrying, building, until the flood came and swept them away. Life will seem normal. And then it won't. There will be no warning shots, no last sermon, no angelic message flashing across the sky. Because the rapture isn't meant to be an event you respond to. It's one you must already be prepared for. That's what makes it a true test of faith. It's not about reacting to a moment. It's about living ready for it every single day. In a world full of alerts, warnings, and breaking news, the rapture will be the one event that arrives without any sound but the trumpet. And only those who are listening for it will hear it. Others will only hear the aftermath, the cries, the panic, the questions. It will defy logic. Scientists won't be able to explain it. Governments won't be able to hide it. It will shake the foundation of reality itself. People often say, if I see it happening, then I'll believe. But by the time it happens, belief will no longer be a choice. It will be a realization, a painful, crushing realization for those left behind that they waited too long, that they gambled with eternity and lost. So many mock the idea because it sounds too extreme, too sudden. But isn't that the point? If you knew the exact moment, you wouldn't need faith. You wouldn't need to live prepared. You could just wait until the last second. But the rapture doesn't work like that. It's designed to surprise. It's meant to come like a thief in the night, without notice, without compromise, without delay. This truth should wake us up, not just scare us, but stir something deep inside, a sense of urgency, a hunger to be ready, to live with purpose, to stop playing games with our souls. Because once it happens, it will be the most irreversible moment in human history. And that moment could be any moment, maybe even now. When the rapture takes place, the world will be thrown into unprecedented chaos. It won't be a quiet event that goes unnoticed. It will be loud in its consequences, devastating in its aftermath, and shocking in its suddenness. One moment, everything will seem ordinary, and the next, millions of people will be gone without a trace. And the ripple effect of that mass disappearance will be unlike anything the world has ever seen. Imagine it. A pilot disappears mid-flight, and the plane plunges out of the sky. On highways across the world, cars suddenly veer out of control as drivers vanish. School teachers disappear in front of their students. Surgeons vanish in the middle of operations. Parents disappear while holding their children. The shock of that moment will paralyze cities, crash economies, overwhelm emergency services, and ignite mass hysteria. Hospitals will be flooded. Police departments will be crippled. Governments will go silent because no one will be prepared for what just happened. In every corner of the globe, people will ask the same question: where did they go? The missing won't be isolated to one nation, race, religion, or class. It will be global, sudden, and absolutely unexplainable from a human perspective. News channels will scramble to cover it. Experts will be interviewed. Scientists will offer theories. Politicians will try to calm the public. And religious voices will rise up trying to explain. But the truth is, none of it will make sense to those who never believed. They'll be left to put the pieces together while facing the most emotionally and spiritually devastating moment of their lives. The grief will be unbearable, the fear suffocating. People will realize they've lost family members, spouses, children, friends, and they won't understand why. Panic will spread as quickly as the news. Some will riot, others will take their lives. The overwhelming emotion will be confusion mixed with dread. No one will know what to do next. There will be a haunting emptiness left behind in homes, workplaces, and communities. Some of the kindest, most faithful, and peaceful people will be gone, and the world will feel their absence immediately. But it's not just about the physical disappearance of millions. It's the spiritual shockwave that follows. People who sat in churches their whole lives but never truly believed will suddenly realize the truth. Too late. Those who mocked, doubted, or ignored the message will begin to understand that something divine has just happened, something far greater than any human event. They'll look back at the moments they heard the message, saw the signs, felt the pull in their hearts, and realize they dismissed the truth. There will be a desperate search for answers. People will flood the internet, score old sermons, open long abandoned Bibles, and revisit conversations they once brushed off. Some will try to recreate the puzzle in their minds, trying to figure out who exactly is missing and why. And in the silence of that moment, many will come to the painful realization that they were warned and didn't listen. Authorities may try to explain it away as a mass alien abduction, a cosmic anomaly, or some unprecedented scientific phenomenon. But deep down, millions will know this was no accident, no natural disaster. This was supernatural. This was foretold. This was the rapture. And for those left behind, the horror won't just be what they saw happen. It will be knowing they were this close to escaping it. They'll remember the words of preachers they once ignored. They'll recall the faith of their believing relatives. They'll revisit the moments when their hearts stirred during worship, when conviction tugged at them, when truth knocked at the door, and they said, "Not yet." The world will never be the same after the rapture. Everything will change in that single, mysterious, catastrophic moment. Governments will likely form new alliances. A one-world system may rise in the chaos. Control will tighten. Fear will grow. But the greatest trauma won't be political or economic. It will be spiritual. It will be the agony of those who realize too late that they missed the most important event in history. The rapture won't just shock the world with its supernatural power. It will leave a permanent scar on the hearts of millions who were left behind, wondering how they could have ignored the truth for so long and what they are now going to face in the days to come. One of the greatest deceptions ever embraced by humanity is the illusion of time, the belief that there will always be more of it. More time to change, more time to decide, more time to finally take life seriously. This lie has lulled millions into a spiritual sleep, convincing them that urgency is unnecessary and that eternity can wait. But eternity doesn't wait. And when the rapture takes place, that lie will be exposed in the most devastating way possible. People live as though tomorrow is guaranteed, as if the clock of life won't ever stop ticking. They make plans for 10 years from now, set goals for retirement, and dream of futures that may never come. They hear messages of truth, feel the tug on their hearts, sense the call to change, but they push it aside, telling themselves they'll respond someday. That someday mindset is the silent killer of souls, because for many, someday never arrives. This deception is especially dangerous because it's subtle. It doesn't sound rebellious. It doesn't reject truth outright. It simply says, later. Later I'll surrender. Later I'll get serious about my faith. Later I'll stop playing games. Later I'll leave that toxic relationship, break that addiction, or walk away from the things I know are pulling me away from God. Later I'll say yes. And so they go on living not in rebellion, but in delay. But delay is disobedience dressed in softer clothes. And when the trumpet sounds, delay will turn into despair. The idea that you can wait until the last minute to get right is not only foolish, it's spiritually deadly. The rapture won't pause for you to pray. It won't wait for you to repent. It won't slow down so you can clean up your life. It will come in a flash, without warning, without negotiation, and without second chances. And the tragedy is that so many people will realize in that moment that they had countless opportunities, but they traded them for comfort, distraction, and the illusion of more time. Think about how often people prioritize the temporary over the eternal. They chase money, success, fame, relationships, pleasure, everything the world celebrates, while putting off the only thing that truly matters, the condition of their soul. Eternity is treated like a side issue, a vague idea to be dealt with eventually. But when the rapture happens, eventually ends. forever. This deception has woven itself deep into our culture. Everywhere you turn, you're told to live for the now. You only live once. They say, follow your heart. They insist. But hearts lie. Feelings change. Time runs out. And when the curtain of this world is pulled back and the eternal is revealed, there will be no more room for pretending. People will remember the moments they felt the truth stirring inside them. During a quiet night, a funeral, a crisis, a conversation, or a random moment of reflection. But they will also remember how they quickly brushed it aside, thinking they had more time. This mindset has kept millions from entering into a real relationship with God. Some have grown up around faith, but never truly embraced it. Others have heard the message, maybe even believed it to some degree, but decided they weren't ready to let go of their lifestyle. Still others are simply too distracted, scrolling endlessly, chasing entertainment, living in constant noise, never pausing long enough to hear the whisper of eternity calling to them. But time is not a guarantee. Life is not a rehearsal. Every second that passes is a second closer to that final moment. The rapture is not a myth, a metaphor, or a religious scare tactic. It's a divine appointment. It will happen. And it will shock those who thought they had more time. The enemy doesn't need to convince you that God isn't real to keep you lost. He only needs to convince you to wait until you're older, to wait until life calms down, to wait until you're done having fun, to wait until you're in a crisis. And for millions, that strategy will work, right up until the day the sky opens and the faithful are taken. Then the lie of later will become the cry of too late. The deception of more time is perhaps the most dangerous lie because it gives you just enough comfort to stay unprepared. It feels safe, even reasonable. But eternity doesn't run on our schedule. The time is now, and every heartbeat brings us closer to a moment that will not wait for anyone. When most people hear about the rapture, they imagine it's something reserved for the extremely religious, for those who live by strict rules, attend church every week, or appear outwardly holy. But that belief is not only misleading, it's dangerous. The rapture is not about how religious you seem or how many traditions you follow. It's not about having perfect church attendance or knowing every verse in the Bible. It's about one thing: being ready. And readiness doesn't come from religion. It comes from relationship. So many people hide behind the mask of religion. They think because they were baptized, confirmed, or attend services occasionally that they're safe. They assume that growing up in a Christian household or identifying with a particular faith is enough. But the truth is, religion without relationship is empty. You can go through all the motions, do all the right things outwardly, and still have a heart that's far from God. And when the rapture takes place, God won't be checking your denomination. He'll be looking at your heart. There's a profound difference between appearing righteous and being right with God. Some of the most polished, respected, and moral people may be left behind, not because they were evil, but because they never truly knew Him. They knew the rituals, but not the Redeemer. They followed tradition, but never truly surrendered. Their faith was cultural, not personal. And when that moment comes, it will be painfully clear that the outer shell of religion was never enough to carry them into eternity. This truth shatters the pride of many. It levels the playing field, because at the core, the rapture is about authenticity. It's about those whose lives reflect a living relationship with Jesus. Not perfection, but pursuit. Not flawless performance, but sincere surrender. Being ready for the rapture doesn't mean you never stumble. It means you know where your heart truly belongs. It means you've stopped pretending and started pursuing. The mistake many people make is thinking they can earn their way into readiness. That if they do enough good, avoid enough bad, and check off enough religious boxes, they'll qualify. But salvation has never been about performance. It's about grace. It's about accepting the invitation, not trying to impress the host. The ones who will be taken in the rapture are not the most religious. They are the most real. Real in their faith, real in their walk, real in their relationship with God. Think about it this way. You can visit a gym every day and never get healthy if you don't engage in the process. You can wear the clothes, know the lingo, follow the routines, and still remain unchanged. Religion is the same. You can be around it your whole life and never be transformed by it. The rapture will expose that reality. It will separate those who were truly walking with God from those who were just standing near the truth without embracing it. This is why so many will be surprised. They thought they were ready because they looked the part. They volunteered. They prayed on occasion. They were good people. But they never made the decision to truly surrender. They never let the truth go from their heads to their hearts. And in that critical moment, when the trumpet sounds, the absence of a genuine relationship will be the only thing that matters. And it will cost them everything. On the other hand, there will be those who seemed unremarkable to the world, people who didn't have fancy titles or public ministries, quiet believers who lived faithfully, loved deeply, and walked humbly with their God. Their lives weren't flashy, but their hearts were fully His. They will be the ones who are taken, not because of their works, but because of their connection. Because they didn't just know about God, they knew Him. This is what separates those who are ready from those who are not. It's not about religion. It's not about image. It's not about how clean your past is. It's about whether you've responded to the call of grace and entered into a relationship that changes you from the inside out. The rapture is a moment that will reveal what has always been true, that God isn't coming for a religious crowd, but for a faithful bride, not for the ones who played the part, but for those who gave Him their hearts. The rapture will bring with it not only disappearance, but also a powerful wave of regret. It won't just be the shock of people vanishing. It will be the flood of memories that return to those who remain, memories that were once ignored, mocked, or brushed aside. In that moment, countless individuals will suddenly remember every conversation, every sermon, every warning, and every nudge in their hearts that pointed them toward the truth. And the pain won't come just from what happened. It will come from knowing they had the chance to escape it and chose not to. Regret is one of the most tormenting emotions a person can experience. And after the rapture, it will hang heavy in the air like a thick cloud over cities, homes, and hearts. People will begin to replay scenes in their minds, the times they laughed off a friend's invitation to church, the moments they changed the channel during a powerful message, the times they felt a deep conviction and turned away from it, saying, "Not now." These memories, once ignored, will suddenly scream for attention. Some will remember a spouse who pleaded with them to consider faith. Others will think back to a child who prayed for them nightly. There will be those who once sat in church week after week, hearing the message over and over again, but never letting it penetrate beyond the surface. Their hearts were moved, their minds stirred, but they always found a reason to delay. They'll remember those moments not as gentle nudges, but as missed lifelines. And the regret will be more than emotional. It will be spiritual. The weight of lost opportunity will press down with unbearable force. In that moment, the truth will be undeniable, and yet the chance to act on it will be gone. The window of mercy will have closed, and that realization will crush many. The very thing they thought was optional or exaggerated will stand before them as undeniable reality, and they will have to live with the knowledge that they said no. It's not just that they didn't believe. It's that they almost believed. That's what will haunt them. They were close. They were within reach. They had access to the truth in sermons, songs, conversations, even in silent moments when something inside them whispered, "There's more." But they ignored it. They thought there would be time later. They thought they could revisit it when life slowed down or got hard. And now that moment is gone. This is what will cause many to collapse in grief after the rapture. It won't be just the loss of loved ones, though that will be painful. It will be the deep inner realization that they missed their own chance to be part of it. They'll sit in empty churches, scroll through old messages, dig through journals, and search online for videos and articles, desperately trying to understand what happened. And the overwhelming truth will crash down on them. I was warned. I was loved. I was invited. And I said no. There will be countless voices playing back in their memories. Preachers on YouTube, a grandmother's tearful prayers, a friend's late night conversation about eternity. They'll remember the exact words, the tone, the urgency. They'll even remember how their hearts raced when they heard the message, how they almost responded. But almost won't be enough. They'll now be left behind, and that regret will be unbearable. Some will try to numb it. Others will try to fight it. But many will simply weep, not just because of what they lost, but because of how easily they gave it up. They'll realize they were distracted by things that don't matter, caught up in careers, entertainment, social status, or pleasures that are now meaningless. They'll wish they could trade it all for just one more chance, one more moment to say yes, one more opportunity to choose what they now know was true all along. But the rapture won't be a rehearsal. It will be final. It will be real. And it will separate those who responded from those who delayed. The memories will remain, but the chance to act on them will be gone. And that's what will break the hearts of millions. Not just the shock of what happened, but the undeniable truth that they had everything they needed to be ready. And they walked away. When the rapture takes place, the world will be thrown into chaos. But amidst the confusion, something else will unfold, something more sinister than just fear or uncertainty. The world will try to explain away the supernatural with the natural. What many knew was a divine act will be rebranded, redefined, and repackaged as something else entirely. Governments, media, and global influencers will step in, not with truth, but with deception. And millions will fall for it. In the days following the rapture, when countless people suddenly vanish, there will be no shortage of theories. Some will say it was a mass alien abduction. Others will call it a scientific anomaly, a glitch in nature, or some kind of spontaneous global event triggered by climate change or quantum physics. People will grasp at anything that helps them make sense of the event without acknowledging God. Why? Because admitting it was the rapture would mean acknowledging that the Bible was true, that Jesus was real, and that judgment is coming. And that's a truth many would rather deny, even at the cost of their soul. This is where the great delusion will begin to take root. It will not come in the form of brute force or immediate oppression. It will come in the form of explanations that sound logical, even compassionate. The deception will appeal to reason, to emotions, to unity. It will tell people that those who disappeared were part of something dangerous, or that their removal was necessary for the evolution of humanity. It will tell people not to panic, that a new age is dawning, that this is a moment to come together and move forward. And many, desperate for answers, will believe it. The Bible speaks of this delusion, a time when people will be handed over to lies because they refuse to love the truth. This isn't just a vague warning. It's a spiritual reality. When people spend their lives ignoring the truth, rejecting the truth, and mocking the truth, there comes a time when they no longer recognize it, even when it's right in front of them. Their hearts become hardened. Their minds become darkened. And so, when the rapture happens and the truth is screaming at them, they won't hear it. Instead, they'll listen to the voices that comfort them, the ones that allow them to continue in unbelief. This global deception won't be random. It will be orchestrated. Systems will be put in place to control the narrative. Information will be filtered, dissenting voices. Those who know what really happened will be silenced. A new world order will begin to rise, built not on truth, but on the lie that people want to believe. And as fear grips the hearts of many, they will trade truth for peace, discernment for acceptance, and conviction for conformity. What makes this deception so powerful is that it will feel right. It will seem reasonable. It will be wrapped in progress, science, inclusivity, and unity. It won't come waving the flag of evil. It will come dressed in light. It will promise answers, solutions, and stability. But behind it will be the enemy working through human systems to blind people from the eternal consequences of what just occurred. The world will try to erase the memory of the rapture. They'll remove references to it, mock those who try to explain it biblically, and brand the event as dangerous religious propaganda. Children may be told their parents joined a cult. Friends will be told their loved ones were part of a group that was taken for reprogramming or renewal. The truth will be twisted, and those left behind will be urged to move on, to embrace a new world without the divisiveness of faith. And those who once heard the truth, those who once stood at the edge of belief but never stepped in, will be the most vulnerable to this lie, because the lie will offer them a way to avoid facing their greatest fear that they missed it, that they were wrong, that the people they laughed at were right. And instead of falling to their knees, many will cling to the deception because it's easier than facing the pain of truth. But the truth won't stop being true just because the world rejects it. The rapture will be the beginning of judgment, and the deception that follows will be one more layer of mercy peeled away, a final test, and sadly, many will fail. Not because they were never told the truth, but because when it came time to believe it, they chose the lie that made them feel safe over the truth that could have saved their soul.